Hello, hello. Hey, Violet. So wonderful to see you. Violet, you are first, second, third, and fourth in the house, my love. So great to catch you tonight, honey, and great to see you last night also. It is an honor to have you here always. All right, so Cancerians, it is Saturday, so we got to do a video for you guys. I try very hard to always get these out on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Once in a while, I'm not around for other reasons, but if I am, we get to you guys. So let's go ahead and jump on in. So one of the storylines that I wanted to do, and I'll round out the other zodiacs for this tomorrow, but because we do have, the Starry Night backdrop, I wanted to take a look at what are the dreamscapes or the subconscious bringing to the surface for a character right now. So we have a Three of Swords. Hi, everybody. To have the Three of Swords, this says we could actually have some pretty vivid dreams. Could be sad, or could be about loss. We could have a character that is worrying about, like, what if I get betrayed? What if the worst case scenario happens? And that could be an indicator that we have a character who's just kind of stressing themselves out about things that maybe are not even necessary to be concerned about. Lots of the things that we fret over never come to pass. But our mind, especially the subconscious or the dream state, will bring up the things that we suppress during the daytime, and then they reveal it to us at night. And so this could be an indicator that our character is like possibly having some scary dreams. Like, I had a dream that Aries got stolen. My truck and Aries together got stolen, and I was losing my mind. And of course, in dreams, bizarrely, there's like another truck parked with a blue healer in it, but it's not my truck and it's not my baby. Oh, it was awful. And it was so vivid. And I woke up to that fear, and my baby was right there. But those are my fears, right? Obviously. So I decided to dream them and freak myself out, because really I was really hot and needed to cool down. But we have got this Hermit. I think our character just needs to pause and think about this. Maybe they've been out there by themselves too long, and they've been with the Queen of Cups in the reverse. I feel like this is the imaginings of sadness or loneliness, because I think something is preying on our character's mind. This is an emotional manipulation. Is somebody being mean to Cancerian? Did somebody say something that was snarky? There could have been like an individual, maybe somebody that they met that is like solo and single, that they feel is like really happy with their solo single life, but then it worked its way into like, oh my god, that's going to be my life, but I don't want that person's life. They may be happy being the Hermit, but that's not what I wanted. Is that what's going to happen to me? And it's like, no. The dreamscape brings to the surface the stuff that gets all mangled up and mushed together. If this is not the path that Cancerian wants and is destined for, because this is what they actually choose for themselves, that is not going to be their outcome. Our character is going to get what they truly want, not what they're afraid of getting. It doesn't work that way. Our character is not going to be manifesting the very life that they are most afraid to end up in. They're going to end up happy. They're going to end up better. But something got into their head. Either somebody said something rude or made some joke at their expense. Never listen to mean comments. Never let that kind of stuff, strike a chord and be like, is that how I come across? Am I going to be by myself? Hell no. That person is probably jealous of Cancerian and hopes Cancerian is going to be, like unhappy. So harsh words or things like that, because this keeps feeling mean to me, but it hit a chord, and then it turned into like a negative thought process and a kind of like a nightmare scenario. But I think that this is just a bunch of BS. But I do think somebody tried to like get in Cancerian's head, or Cancerian just got into their own head a little bit. But I don't see any of that being their outcome. It just looks like this is the fears, the worries. By the way, this is the only zodiac so far who's come up with a storyline like this. I've done a couple of the other dreamscapes on Thursday, and none of them had like a negative spin like this. But we're swiping that negative right on out of here and welcoming in the Emperor. And you notice here's a new dreamscape. So tonight, when our Cancerian goes night, I think it would be a good thing for them to set their sights on this sexy topless whomever their heart's desire would be, and imagine that person traipsing across the desert coming directly toward Cancerian. This is the life they want, then imagine that coming toward them. Do not get caught up in these negative thought processes because of somebody's snarky comment who's jealous and hoping that you're not going to keep having success. Do not let that stuff eat at, a character's mind, is what the message is. Instead, before bedtime, to ensure nice, sweet, sleepy time dreams, it's like envision the emperor or the lifestyle of an emperor coming toward our character. Doesn't matter what gender a character is, but right now the emperor is the best of the best. Whether this is a masculine or a feminine, doesn't matter, but it is the classical male archetype. But I love the fact that it's like before our character falls asleep, for a moment, close their eyes and don't have any stresses. Instead, think about, I can't wait for so-and-so to come toward me. I'm picturing them on their way now. I'm picturing what they look like. I'm picturing them headed into my life. I'm picturing this entering my world because this is the life that I want to enjoy. I love this story, actually. And I think it's so valuable. It's so important. Like, this is one where I wish it wasn't just a Cancerian story, because I feel like this would be great for, like any character, only because it's so relevant that, sometimes we get like a fear in our head, like, am I going to be alone? Am I going to only be betrayed? Am I never going to meet anybody? Is there something wrong with me? Am I too this, too that? Am I too picky? Did somebody say Cancerian was too highly selective? Or, well, Cancerian, if you just learn how to talk to people a little bit better, maybe you won't scare them off. Sometimes people just say crappy stuff, that's so off the mark, and they say it just to be insulting. But I really feel like that got in our poor Cancerian's head, and now we're getting it out and we're replacing it with the dreamscape that Cancerian wants, and this is going to help them to manifest. What's really nice, when we couple it with the Two of Pentacles and the World card, talk about planning the future. This is also like, now our Cancerians like rolling. They're like, okay, yeah, I could do this. I could do a little bit of nighttime meditation before I fall asleep and imagine the man or woman of my dreams on their way into my life. I could imagine, I stop there. I could imagine lots of money on its way into me. I could imagine taking a trip that I've always wanted to take. I could imagine having a guide that is beside me all the time that helps me make good decisions. I could imagine balance coming into my life, work-life balance, money coming in and debts being paid off kind of balance. I could picture all these good things. And in fact, I want the chapters of my life that go from here on out to keep bringing me in greater benefit. So I'm going to envision that. This is a turning point for Cancerian. Sometimes, the best thing that ever happens to us is when somebody tells us their negative opinion about what they think our life is going to have to be. And sometimes it's the best thing anybody does is kind of hurts our feelings with something ucky that they say, because we can react with, F that. That's not going to be my life. Screw you. Let me show you. Here, hold my beer. Let me show you. Don't underestimate what my life can be. Sometimes we need that little bit of fire, to like get underneath us and be like, okay, that made me feel really sad, really even fearful. But now screw that. You don't tell me what my life is, or that I'm too picky and I'll never meet anybody, or that I can't have this or that. Screw you. I can have anything that I want. In fact, I can have the best. In fact, let me go, and I'm going to manifest even more than what I originally humbly would have wanted, because I don't want to let you decide what I get. I'll decide what I get. Sometimes it's really good to kind of like outdo ourselves. And I feel like that is the twist in this. So maybe we should say thank you to the haters on this storyline. We got a 5 of Swords. We got the 7 of Swords. And you notice that Cancerian is, we see this little grin, like, I know you were full of crap. I know you intentionally said something so vicious to me. With that 5 of Swords, that is mean. That is competitive. You wanted to press on an old bruise of mine. Somebody went for the jugular. I don't know who this was. They could have been an air sign, but they were not a friend. This feels like a frenemy. Um, somebody who knew enough about Cancer to say something or to imply something so subtly. It could have been a stranger, though. Sometimes strangers are just really damn good at like projecting their negativity onto other people, or seeing somebody who looks, you know, lovely or handsome, and they just want to take that person down a peg just out of sheer jealousy. This all reeks of jealousy all over this story to me. I don't usually get really yucky, vindictive, jealous stories like this, but somebody was a bastard to Cancerian. And it may have been the subtle dig, but this was very intentional. And I think this is Cancerian saying, I know that what you said wasn't even true. And I know why you said it. And I know you pretended. This could have been one of those things where it's like you say something mean, but then it's like, bless your heart, like, the way that you say something that's snarky or unkind, but then you pretend that it was nice. Like you're being really generous and just hopeful that everything will go better. But in fact, you just gave a scathing, insult. Um, it feels like it could have been cloaked in honey, the bee sting that's covered in honey. And it's like, I know that what you said wasn't true. I know you want me to think less of me, but I know where this came from. And I know you didn't say it to be kind. I know you said it to be jealous or to cut me down. That is really, really good to be able to identify that there will be people in life that just do that. They just do it because they're unhappy, or they just do it because they just can't bear to see somebody else, that they perceive as accomplished, and they just want to rule others all the time or just take away other people's happiness. I mean, the problem is in them, right? Not in Cancerian. But it is great for Cancerian to be able to not just like ignore it, but to understand it and to maybe call it out for what it is. We've got the Hanged Man in the reverse. Yeah, this is definitely flipping that to the other side, because I have a feeling Cancerian may deal with this person again, possibly later, much better in their life. Is this again? I think Cancerian will probably flip and begin by saying, hey, I want to thank you. Part of the reason I'm where I am today is because you said something so vicious to me once upon a time, and it really helped motivate me. So thank you for that. Cancerian might just like come up and shake their hand. Like, just want to tell you, part of the reason I am who I am today is because of that crappy thing you said to me 6 months ago. We got the 7 of Wands in the reverse. Because of you, I realized I don't have any blockages. Because of the blockages you tried to give me, and I knew that it wasn't real and it wasn't legit, I realized just how much I didn't have limitations, and that made me reach for the stars. Thank you. You have been my greatest, unwitting champion that helped me to achieve what I've achieved. I feel like this is like the ultimate smackdown for Cancerian to be able to tell somebody, thank you. Yeah, we got a 4 of Cups. They could be a little bit stunned and shocked. You notice it's like, oh my God, I can't believe you just called me on that. You called me on the illusions. This person will probably regret the way they behaved. It will be possibly too late. Maybe they didn't realize that they're, you know, the things that they say will not be forgotten, but can actually impact somebody, and that their reputation is now like the person who tries to like undermine others and it backfires. This feels like somebody does have a pretty big regret. This looks like a feminine who did this to Cancerian. I want to see more though about what Cancerian's life is going to hold. The Sun. Breaking out of their shell. If Cancerian, being the crab, of course, they always say that the Cancerians, can retreat into their little crab-like shells. That is kind of like a nice metaphor for this chicken, like hatching out of its little eggshell. This is so, like, I'm not going to play small. I wouldn't keep myself in a little shell. Why would I have to hide any part of me? I'm rocking this. I'm having a good old time. I'm here to be seen. I'm here to be successful. I'm here to love my life. I'm not here to worry about failures. I have absolute belief and confidence that my life can be filled with love and happiness, and that I make people happy. I do think that Cancerian has wrapped their head around the fact that somebody wanted them to feel less than. And that is so important to be able to understand that. We have the Four of Wands. This Cancerian is going to be happily married and possibly luxurious place. They may have a tendency to start dancing when they are really happy as well. Whatever happens in this Cancerian's life, things are starting to not just look up, but they're starting to look like everything that Cancerian has genuinely hoped for and more is what they are getting, versus the empty, lonely landscape. I don't know. Did somebody say, "Oh, you're such a, you're so sage, you're so wise"? I'm sure that you'll probably like live your life out in like a desert by yourself, not speaking for the last, 35 years of your life as you contemplate the universe. Like that's like the insult rolled up in a supposed compliment, or a turd rolled in glitter, as they say. It still is a turd. That's not a nice thing to say to somebody, even though you're like, oh, it's because you're so wise. No, you just said that they'll be alone forever. Like that's where this person could be still trying to backpedal a little bit, like, I didn't mean that. Doesn't matter. It's enough for Cancerian to know that that is out there sometimes, and to know that that can be used to their advantage to motivate them to get out there and make their life better. And it does start with the dream state. It does start with the meditation of thought processes of, I want this in my life. Therefore, I'm going to keep asking myself during the daytime, if that's my intention that I set last night before I went to bed, that I want to welcome an amazing emperor into my life. What do I want to have accomplished before he shows up in my life, or she shows up in my life? Let me think about that. Let me act like I'm getting ready to receive this awesome person into my life. What would I do? What would I want to prepare for? I might want to, spruce up my wardrobe a little bit. I want to dress a little sexier, have a little bit more fun. Well, guess what? The byproduct of that is maybe I'm noticed a lot more. Maybe that, translates well into like a more vivacious energy, a more flirtatious energy, a more outgoing energy. People want to be around people that are, like supportive and kind and outgoing. That could translate into better money, better outcomes, in business. All of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, I'm getting so much great, like, responses. People want to be around me. People want to do business with me. I am receiving and I'm continuously giving. And that is the secret to getting to that Four of Wands life. This can be a marriage, but it's more than that. None of this was just about finding a partner. It was about living the best quality life, a life that is full of friends and people and abundance, and the actual like arrangement and alignment of the best of Cancerian being mirrored in the environment that they've now created and welcomed into their life, both in love and work and friendships and an environment. So, man, I'll tell you, this is probably the best Cancerian video I think I've ever had, because it's such a like a direct, streamlined approach on what does our character need to do to actually have the best possible life. And maybe in this storyline, I guess the reason I like it so much is because we started out with somebody getting like a sucker punch, and then they turned it around and they actually end up coming out 100 times better in the grand scheme of their life, thanks to that jerk who gave them a sucker punch. And that's like so the right kind of, like, if you want to call it vengeance, it's like, I don't get mad, I get better. That's what I would say. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Lots of love, you guys. Yes, Violet, I think we had a really good Aries video not too long ago, and one other zodiac. I don't know that it was Virgo. It might have been, but there was a great Aries video, very different from this, but like one that I felt like I wish that it wasn't just for one zodiac, because I wish it had been like a collective, only because, so few people will ever see this, because I don't have a lot of Cancerian watchers. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Cassie, I'm so honored you're here. Cassidy, Melanie, thank you. Hey, Travis Rhodes. That's awesome. That's awesome. Rusalka, how are you? Thank you for being here. Anthony Richmond, thank you for being here again tonight. Great to catch you twice. Ian Bell, hi, honey. Wonderful to see you. Barbara, hello. And Violet. That's hilarious, Violet. You don't have to worry about spelling here. I didn't even see. Surprise. You know how they always say if like enough of the letters are kind of in the right beginning and end, your brain will fill in the middle bits. I didn't even notice that you had said surprise instead of surprise. Anyway, I don't think anybody on my channel cares about spelling. I think we all are like just chill humans, just having a good time. So don't you worry about it. You can write however you want. So good to see you guys. All right, sweet dreams, everybody. Bye for now. Thanks again, Barbara. Bye.